Rainbow, very colourful. Thank you for the whole room.
Thank you. It's a unicorn. Hello. I just wanted to, yeah, I want to, yeah. Right. I certainly will do. So for today, what we need is a cereal box, a pen, some sellotape, if you've got any sellotape, that will be really good. Some glue. I'm using stick here. You can, however, excuse me, while I reach over here, you can also use a PVA adhesive, that kind of runny glue. But these are the things that we've got, and we're going to start. So first of all, with your cereal box, cut it out so you have a flat surface, a flat white surface. We can do, that's the first step. So we're going to cut it out.
The master's just cutting down the size of the box and getting it on a flat surface so that everything sticking out and getting in the way when trying to cut.
Make sure you don't have bits of cereal in the box. That would be really helpful.
But don't worry if you do, you've got to tidy up your space afterwards.
Exactly. Right, so we have a white card. Okay. So the next bit we're going to do, we're going to make the shapes. So the easiest one we're going to start off with is the round shape. And I'm going to use a cup for this, so it's nice and big so you can see what's happening. Okay, so draw around the cup, and you need 2 of these shapes. For all of the shapes that you're going to be making, you need 2 of the same shapes. Okay, so there's one, and then there's the second one. Okay, so, and we're going to, very quietly now, that sounds very loud. Okay, so we're going to cut around the shapes. We're going to do a circle over here. So 1, then the second one.
And don't worry if you're not as quick as cutting this master.
No, I've had practice. I've been practicing this. You see, so you take your time. Don't hurry. There we go. You can also use biscuit cutters for different kinds of shapes. So if you've got a star, for example, then you can use a star and then trace in the middle of it, and then obviously cut it out afterwards. So you have 2 circles. Okay. So the next bit is you will want a line down the middle of the circle. So all the way to the center. You can use a ruler if you so wish. That was another thing that I forgot to mention. And try, and you don't need to be very precise, but try and be pretty much in the middle. So there you go. All right, and you do exactly the same thing on the other side of the card. Now, what I did find is when you cut the circles, you need to have one which is a little bit further than the center of your circle or of your shape, a little bit further. It's just, you will see, when you slot it together, it's not, one of them needs to be slightly further down the middle than the other one. Okay, so what you do with this, oh, I forgot to cut the second bit. Just 1 minute. There you go. Technical problems. Okay, so what you do with these, we started. Let me take that out of the way so you can see better. Is you're going to slot them. So these two slots in the middle. So you're going to slot them all the way down. You see what's happening? And might have to fiddle around a little bit. It's quite tight. There we go. So you have your first shape. Right? Okay. So we'll put this to the side, and now we're going to do another shape. And what we're going to do for this one, where's my bit of card that I had? Okay. Oh, I'm running out of card here. So we're going to do a heart. And the easiest way to do a heart, I'm just going to cut this bit out so it doesn't get in our way. It's going to be a small heart. The easiest way to do a heart, I find, is if you bend the card in the middle, or at any point like this. There you go.
Is it a full fold or just a bend? It's
a bend, more or less, because what you're going to do is you're going to trace half a heart. It's much easier to do half a heart. So I'm going to do it like this so you can see. So you start in the middle and you take it to the edge and down, and you will see what will happen. So can you see that? That's the shape. It looks like an ear, or maybe even a hold of a cup. Handle, cup handle, that's what they're called.
So
exactly.
Half a heart if you cut down where it fits in to the point of the bottom.
Exactly, and that's how to make it symmetrical. And you don't need to do, if you're going to do more than one heart shape, all you need to do this bit is once, because once you cut it out, once you get this one, the second shape.
So make sure when you're cutting it out, you've got your piece of card still folded.
Yeah.
You're cutting two
Piece of card, so it might be a little bit harder on your scissors. So there. So, and we have a perfectly symmetrical heart. Okay, so what we do with this one is I'm going to find a bit of card over here that we're going to use. So that's my old bit. And I'm going to put it on top like this. And then all I need to do is I need to trace around it. There we go. And there we go. All the way down. Now, that's, oh, that way. There you go. That's the other heart. So you cut this one out. And here, I always wanted to say this. This is the one I made earlier. And we've got already the little flaps in there. And we have cut the top. So for the heart, actually, this is quite important before I go any further. For the heart, when you cut the slit in the middle, one of them has to start at the bottom, which is where the heart, you know, the right at the bottom of the heart. And then the other one, the other heart has to have the slit at the top. You see? So again, because what we're going to do with these is you're going to put it in the middle and you're going to slot it into place. Da-da-da-da. There you go. So you have a 3D heart. Okay. Yeah. Right. So now I have one more shape that I have here. We had a circle, a large circle, a heart, and then we're going to have a couple of smaller circles. One here and one there. Okay, so there's another shape that I cut out earlier. I'm liking this. And so I'm going to do one more just so you can see it. You can also, can you see how here on these shapes, I slightly bent the edges all in the same way, and you will see later on the mobile or the garland, whatever you're making out of this, it looks really nice, especially when they spin. Okay, but that's optional. You don't have to do that. Okay, so there's another circle. So what I'm going to do with these now is I'm going to slot them, or I'm going to put them on a bit of cotton or string. I don't know whether you can see that, it's easier. I think possibly I'm going to use for this one, I'm going to use a thicker string so everybody can see that. Okay, you can use cotton, it's quite fiddly, but you won't be able to, because cotton is so thin, you won't be able to see the cotton when it's hanging up. So sometimes that looks nice. So you have a choice. For this one, I'm using that. What we're going to do, starting from the bottom, and you can start either with a bigger shape at the bottom or smaller shape, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to start with a bigger one. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to put a knot on the end, however you want. Again, that's optional because you can put just a little bit of sticky tape on the bottom. So what I'm going to do.
So Marcia did the sewer's way of making a knot, wrapped around the end of a big and then put the ball string in the front thumb finger and rub them against each other and
Pulled it off. There you go. Exactly. There you go. And you can take these bits of string off at the end. There you go. All right. I'm going to cut my bottom bit. All right. So what we're going to do with this one is you're going to slot it in the bottom, that bottom flap over here. I'm not quite sure if we call it flap. It's not quite the right word. But for lack of a better word, that's what we're going to call it. You're going to slot it in there, you see, and then pull it up a little bit. Oh, where's it gone? Can you see it? There you go. So there's your knot. You're not really going to see that, especially if you're using cotton or something much thinner. From there, what you need to do is bring it down and over the other side of that same circle flap. So you're going from one side over the top and down the other side, and what it does, it just keeps this in place and straight, because otherwise without it, it will wobble. Okay, so pull that up a little bit, and here's where the sticky tape comes in really useful, because that really does keep this all in place. Or you can use, of course, this kind of a glue on top. All right. Oh, this is adhesive. Any PVA, any white glue will do. That will be absolutely fine. For this one, just to save a little bit of time and the gluiness of it all, I'm going to put a little bit of sticky right at the top, or in the same side as where the string is hanging. Okay, that's pretty straight. So of course all of these bits you can even out at the end. There you go. So that's one. That's the bottom one of your garland. Okay, so the next bit is the same. You're going to, well, actually slightly different, because now you have a bit of a longer string. I tend to leave the length of my string on the reel because I just don't know how I want to space them out, or how long I want to have my garland at the moment. Okay, but you can, of course, decide beforehand and then just chop it off at the end. Okay, so for this one, so you've got, going to do the same thing. We're going to start at the bottom, and then you're going to bring it down the other side and wind it around the other bit of the heart. Oh, that's coming out. Okay, gently, so you can pull it gently, not too far, because otherwise you're in danger of actually ripping your shape. Okay, there you go, right? So I'm going to again use a bit of sticky just to keep it all in place, and again you can use PVA glue for this, or any liquid glue. Yoo-hoo is good. Alright, there we go. So we're getting there, little by little. Let me do it on the white surface so you can kind of see it. Okay. So I'm going to do one more. I'm going to cut it, this time I'm going to cut it off here, just so you can see. Right, here we go. I'm going to put this one away, and I'm going to say one more time. Here's one I made earlier. Ooh. There you go. So it's got the smaller heart at the bottom. The shapes are going from small to large. This one. The one that I was just making, just so you can see. Compare and contrast. And now we're getting slightly hooked. That one's got the bigger shape at the bottom, and it's going to go to the small shape. Right, so I'm going to put these away. Now, for variation, you can also do really simple shapes. And you can do these by hand as well. So if you draw out, say for example, let's do a triangle. So a triangle, quite simple, doesn't even the sides don't need to be that even. There we go, it's rough. Do that, cut it out. That's simple. And then you can draw around your shape again. And with the triangle, it's the same as with the heart. So you could actually try and slot them together in the various forms, but just for today, we shall be using, and again, line down the middle, about halfway on this one, starting from the top corner of the triangle, and this one you're going to start from the bottom upwards. Okay, so you can see that practically, so far I haven't really found any shapes that do not work for this, but there is always one. Okay, I slot this in yet again. There you go. Right, so you have triangle shape. Well, it's more of a pyramid now. Okay, there you go. What else do we need? Okay. So one more shape we're going to do. So how about we do a, I'm running out of card here without, just going to use this bit of card over here. So how about we do a cloud, a very simple cloud. There you go, that's my cloud for today. May not look very cloudy to you right at this moment. Yeah, actually, looking outside, it is quite cloudy, isn't it? Let's cut this out. Bear with me. I'm not very good at cutting clouds out. That looks like. Right. We've got cloud over here. I'm going to trace it one more time. I'm running out of card here. Maybe I should just cut a little bit. You know what? I'm going to cut a tiny bit of card from my extra box. Just cutting a bit of it because my cloud is quite small. Okay. There we go, trace it. All around. There we go. cutting it out now, the second shape. Perfect. Right. So again, we're going to roughly put a line down the middle like this, and then again roughly a line down the middle. No, actually, it's the other way around, isn't it? See? I confused myself. Bear with me. So one from the top, one from the bottom. Really, really important. So I'm going to cut the bottom one. And I'm going to cut the top one. Here we go. Yet again, slot it in. And it kind of, there we go, there's another shape. Kind of a cloudy shape. There you go, so you can do it freehand, you can use a cutter for biscuits, you can use a corner of a book to make the triangles. You can do quite a lot of shapes. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to bring it up on our previous shape. So it got a little bit confused over here. There we go. Let's put the triangle in here for today. There you go. Up. And around. Up and around, she says. Giving him triangle knee twist. Okay. Oh, this one is not wanting to stay flat. Now stay flat. Stay flat. Oop. Right. These are the fiddly bits. This is where you're going to have to take a little bit of care so they are all hanging right. Where's my stickies? I'm going to use a little bit of sticky to make it place. There we go. There you go. Lovely. Now, as you can see, you have a pattern on one side and then white surface on the other from the inside of the box. Totally up to you. You can leave it that way. You can decorate it or colour it in. You can also, if you so wish, you can also use a silver foil if you've got any leftover silver foil. And I know that we didn't ask for this in the preparation, but if you do have a bit of silver foil, you can use that. And all you do is you use a bit of glue on your card, stick it down so it's nice biscuit. I didn't stick it down so I can show you the card underneath. So do it from both sides, okay? And that way you have a silver surface basically. And then with that silver surface, what you can do is again, this is the last one I made earlier. I think I might have to stand up because this is slightly longer one. So this is the one with the silver foil wrapped around the cards. There you go. So that looks quite good on the back of this. There you go. Possibly you can see it better, a little bit better surface. Lovely. Okay, so this is the silver foil. I'm going to bring it closer to the camera so you can see the surface. It's made in exactly the same way. And if you don't want to use the silver foil, and you might have a pen lying around, what you can do is you can just colour it in the white sides of your card. Okay, and obviously these bits here, oh, the camera angle is all wrong, I can't, all of these bits here are the back of the cereal box. So if you find a pretty one, maybe you can just leave it as is. So, there we go. There's a garland. Out of this garland, you can also make mobile. So if you may have quite a few of them hanging down, let me just get the camera up a little bit further up. Very good. Thank you. You can use a coat hanger, and then you can string them up alongside each other. If you find my glamorous assistant here, lovely. And then you can string them up. And if they've got silver foil, you can even hang them outside your window. If you're lucky enough to have a garden, you can put it out in the garden. All you need to do is at the top, and cut the bit of string off. Make sure you don't cut the actual that makes everything hang together. Right, there we go. There's your garland. Any questions? Please feel free right at this moment. I will answer to my best abilities. Let me just put this, where shall I put this? Behind maybe.
Hopefully you guys can hear me. I don't want to get microphone. I've had a couple of comments through. Someone suggested that you could paint them before
Absolutely, great idea. If you've got paint, absolutely.
Or if you had strips of coloured paper, you could use
That's a
them
brilliant idea. Again, all of these.
About whether your cloud was what type of cloud.
Well, I don't know, what type of cloud do you think this is? Let's have a look. A cartoon cloud, possibly?
And lots of comments about how wonderful your outfit is.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, it's a unicorn. So, yes, thank you very much. Anything else? No?
I think I'm going to do a little bit come back with any comments, and we would love to see photos of your mobile.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Do contact us if you need anything about the information advice from earlier on as well.
And also, you use all of these materials that have just been mentioned, so you don't have to stick with any of this, but if you've got paints, etc. So, yes, the most inventive way that you can create something like this, that would be great.
Yes, I think you can try and make it symmetrical.
Absolutely.
If you think doing these symmetrical shapes and slotting them together is a little bit outside of your comfort zone,
Definitely.
You could just make one shape and stick the string to the back of it.
You can.
Or have two shapes either side of the string, like a sandwich,
Yep.
with the string being the filling. That's another option you can do.
That is another option.
How you use what you want to do.
That's absolutely correct. You can even cover the card if you've got any nice wrapping paper left over. You can cover the card with that as well before you start cutting it out instead of silver foil. There's so many variations. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you for listening and watching and hopefully participating.
So a reminder about next week.
Right, I shall be moving now.
Just so you can hear me a bit better rather than sitting off to one side. Next week, slight change to our plans. We were going to be doing a book club and only a book club. We're now going to be cooking again with Aisha. It will be a spaghetti bolognese. We will get a recipe up to you this week so that you know what ingredients you need. And then also we want to be chatting about books. So please do send us your favourite books, your favourite authors, so that we can have a bit of an idea about what we're going to be talking about. So thank you very much for joining us. I was just checking there weren't any other comments, questions or queries before I finished. But thank you very much for being with us, and we hope to see you all next week. And thank you very much. So goodbye. It's goodbye from everyone in Croydon Vision, even if you can't see them.